in the starting tutorials. In the project we have already seen. But right now let us see how to apply authentication and authorization to AJAX request. The basic technique is that when on the server side, this is the server side, and this is, let us say, your handler on get report. Suppose this is the handler that handles your AJAX request. Now when you send in the end after processing or in between somewhere here, let us say you check if the user is in role. If not, the user is in role, we check somewhere in between on this function. Then there what we should send is new JSON result, because JSON result has to be sent. That we are already clear because it is a AJAX response. So new JSON result, and let me write it bit clearly. New JSON result, I'll write it clearly. New JSON result. You can pass some string here, bad error or something, authorization denied or access denied, and it should be followed by a property. See, JSON result has a property. The property of JSON result is called status code. Set the status code as 403. In the previous cases where we learnt AJAX requests and where we did not have authorization and authentication, we did not use this status code because status code is 200 OK by default. But when you have a new JSON result and you want to deny access, then in this if block where you have checked that the user is not authenticated, then you should create a new JSON result and return it. Return new JSON result bad error, so the no process occurs afterwards, and the user will receive this status code in his AJAX request. Got the point? Now let us come to the AJAX side. I'll show you the whole code in a moment, but let us now come to the AJAX side. On the AJAX side, you must have seen that we extract the response stream somewhere. Response goes to this, you must have already seen. When the response lambda is being processed, then instead of reading the whole JSON, you can simply check here if 403 is equal to response dot status. This property is available on the response object, response stream. Here you can say access denied, or maybe you can redirect the user to the location.href is equal to the login page. You can redirect the user to the login page and return here itself. And after this, here you will extract that response.json. Then that whole story will proceed here if the response status is not 403. So it is this thing that works on the JavaScript side, and on that side you set a property of the JSON result. The property is called status code. This is the basic theory of how it works. And now let me show you a project that I have created. We will run that project and we will see how this project will actually work. So this is the project that I have created, and now we can first of all have a run of this project. This is the same project that we have done in the previous tutorial, but now we have added authentication. So when a user tries to click a report, let us say clicks on this report, then he is redirected to the login page because he is not in role, he is not authenticated. You can put any email here. I am not done it very seriously. Put anything, submit, and now you click, the report will be shown because an authentication cookie has been created. So how does this all work? Let us have a look at it. First of all, there is a page called login.cshtml, a Razor page that contains the login form. It is a simple page. You can see, I'll quickly show. a login and submit and nothing else. So when this submit takes place, you come to the backing class. This is the on post handler that receives that request. The login ID is received. We are not doing anything with this. In this particular case, we are simply taking any login ID works. Create a claims collection, name, login ID, role, set a role for, because you can then check this role whether the user has this role or not. After this, a claims identity is created. This claims identity will be based on the claims we create above. This whole story actually we have already discussed in our authentication tutorials in the start of this course. So I'll just run you through. Then authentication properties are set, is persistent true, expiry after 10 minutes, and sign in async takes place, the claims principal, authorization properties, and then you are